Hey ladies and gentlemen, Spazzy Dragon here, aka Syndromes, and welcome to the track. Or at least, what is going to be the track, eventually. It's really hard to tell right now, and I don't know how well you can actually hear me since it is kind of windy outside, but, well, this is the start. I have been busy driving down the snow, I'll explain mine in a sec, and my foot is a little bit tired, for this thing does not have cruise control. So I wanted to relax, stand on the ground a little bit, and then I realized I never really did explain what exactly is happening, why am I driving in circles, in the previous video that I posted about it, and trying to explain a little bit of what it is going to do. So the snow track is literally a plow field. This field was used for crops during the summer, and, now in wintertime, it is time to use it for something else. In this case, a snow track. It is really going to be hard to tell right now, simply because it is currently 6 in the morning, or at least 7. I don't know, I ventured out at 6. But the idea is that over time, we are going to wait for the snowfall to increase the thickness of the snow. You can still see a lot of the thicker patches of grass sticking through. But as time goes on, and as the snow comes, we are going to press it down onto the track. The previous episode you probably saw that I was using a scrape to actually remove a layer of the snow. The reason for that is very simple. We started hitting below freezing temperature only about 2 weeks, around 2 weeks ago. The reason why you don't want to actually have snow on the ground on your track during that period of time is because the ground itself is like a thermal accumulator. Even though it is below freezing outside, the ground itself is still not frozen. And if you allow the snow to fall on top of the ground, it is going to provide a insulating layer. What happens is that if you just shovel the snow out of the way and just make a track like that, what is going to happen is that over time there is no foundation for the snow to actually grip to. The snow underneath at the very layer of the ground itself is actually thawing for a very long period of time, even if the temperatures are way below zero. So what happens is that the snow, after a few laps, turns into a mush. It's not a wet mush, please understand. It is just that it's a porridge of snow, just, loose snow. And if you keep removing it, as you would, you end up with a gravel road, this essentially is right now. And that is a little bit more harder on your cars, especially if you're using modified cars like we are doing now. So what we're doing is a little bit simple. Even though the blanket of snow is fairly thick at this point, we are still either compacting or outright removing the snow from the part of the field which is going to be the track. This allows the actual ground beneath the layer of snow to freeze solid. So as you then keep adding snow on top of it, and instead of removing it, as you can see, I'm currently just driving in circles and compressing it down. As you do that, if there becomes a time where the temperature outside starts nearing zero, it is going to thaw a little bit. It's going to turn into a liquid, and then when it freezes over again, it is going to turn into outright ice. We are turning the snow track into ice so that it becomes more durable. If you do this correctly, you can simply, use the track as you would. It will sustain some wear and tear damage, as you can imagine, so many cars driving around in circles. And when it becomes too tired, you switch to a different part of the track. You'll notice that there's actually 2 tracks running in parallel. That's for a reason. They're not going to be used at the same time. It's the same principle as you would with fields meant for crops. And so, this is the current idea. This is the current state of the track. It is slowly coming together. There is a warning this week for here in Latvia that there is going to be a lot of snow. So we are actually looking forward to that because that means that all of this is going to, get stomped down pretty nicely. And over time, we are going to have a cool track, and if all goes well, the first, introduction or, the celebration of the track opening is going to be done maybe next week at the end of the week. Right now, in terms of vehicles, we have this Nissan X-Trail. It's a diesel, 2.2 turbo diesel. Very easy to handle, very heavy though. Probably not going to be the first car that goes on a completely fresh track. The second one is a Audi TT Roadster, a 1.8 turbocharge, and that is one of the two most lightest vehicles that we have. There's also my own Subaru Impreza GT9. It's an Impreza 2 wagon from 2005. That thing is also a 4x4 with a gear selector switch that drops the gear ratio, or rather increases the gear ratio, or drops it. I don't know the terminology here, sorry. And last but not least, we also have a rear-wheel drive BMW of unspecified origin because it has been engine swapped to something ludicrous. And yeah, apart from that, we have those few cars ready for the track. And as soon as things settle down, as soon as this thing is ready, we can start doing videos about it. So this is just a small update. This is Fancy Dragon, aka Syndromes. My foot has rested. It's time to continue.